guys, TOTY PIQUE here, and welcome back to another FIFA 17 Ultimate Team video. Today, I'm going to bring you guys another squad builder, and this is going to be the most expensive squad I've ever made on any of my videos, on any FIFA as well, and it's a very, very expensive team. It's a 1 million coin squad builder, and it's the best 1 million coin team I've used on FIFA 17, and the best in my opinion. I've been trying out a lot of very expensive, high budget teams over the past couple of weeks, since Team of the Year, during Team of the Year, managed to get a lot of great players in packs, and get quite a lot of coins, so I've been trying out some really expensive teams, and this one here by far is the best I've used. It's the best team I've used so far on FIFA 17 without a shadow of a doubt. I've won so many games with this team. I've been using it in FUT Champions, I've been using it in Divisions, and I've gone from being an average player with my normal team to winning games 4-0, 5-0, and just generally having a lot of fun playing FIFA using this team. It's a very, very good team. It's got a legend, it's got Team of the Year, it's got some high rated informs and gold cards, and it's also got some very, very good players who people always use in FUT Champions. The very overpowered players like Kante and Smalling, who you just see in pretty much every kind of pro players FUT Champions team. Even though they're quite cheap, they're very, very overpowered, and everyone uses them because they are that good. So this team's got a real kind of mix of different players. Also, if you're on PlayStation, I've got some alternatives for you guys to use, because obviously Legends aren't available on PlayStation. So I think the team's slightly more expensive on PlayStation, but obviously you don't have Legends, so you can just use a slightly cheaper player instead of the Legend I used, and that's going to make the team 1 million coins for you on PlayStation. I also do have a ton of clips to show you guys some of the best goals I did score with the team, and yeah, without further ado, let's go on into the squad builder. So this team is in the 4-3-2-1 formation. For a great team, you need a very, very good formation, and this one is probably the most popular formation so far on FIFA 17. Everyone seems to use it, and yeah, it's just a really good formation for pretty much any style of play. I really do enjoy using it. So starting off in the goalkeeper position, we're going to be going with an English goalkeeper from the Barclays Premier League, and that's going to be Jack Butland. Now, I had the option to use pretty much any goalkeeper I wanted. Obviously, a 1 million coin team is very expensive, and you can get pretty much anyone. I could have got maybe De Gea, Courtois, something like that. But Butland is that overpowered that I wanted to use him. He's my best and favourite goalkeeper on this game, and he's man of the match in a lot of games for me. He just makes some great saves, and he's so important for my team. He's only 82 rated, and you get him for about 1,000 coins, but he just makes so many vital saves that I used him in this team right here. And I know a lot of you guys will probably use him as well in your teams normally, because he's just that overpowered. He's a player that everyone seems to use, and he is in the team right there in the goalkeeper position. Now, in the left back position right here, we're going to be going with a Brazilian player from the Liga Santander. No, it's actually not going to be Marcelo, probably quite surprising for a lot of you. I'm actually using Felipe Luis. Now, you can use Marcelo, and you can also use Alba if you want in this team instead. But personally, Felipe Luis is better than them, because he's better defensively. Marcelo is slightly slower than Felipe Luis. Jordi Alba is quite a bit quicker. He does have 80 pace though here, Felipe Luis, which is not bad at all, but he's better at defending than both of them. 82 defending is really good, 79 physical as well, so he's a more physical, stronger, better defensive player than either of those fullbacks, and also he's 6 foot tall, and the other two are very short. I think they're both around 5'8". And having a really tall fullback is very, very important, because they do win back post headers, and a lot of the time if your opponent's using anyone tall, they're going to dominate your fullbacks and score quite a few headers, especially if your opponent does like to cross the ball. So having tall fullbacks is very, very important in my opinion. He's also got high medium work rates, which is perfect for a fullback, and he's got good stats going forwards as well as defensively. Next to him, we're going to be going with a 94 rated card right here, and it is going to be the Team of the Year card I was talking about earlier on, and that is going to be 94 rated Team of the Year Gerard Piqué. He is so, so good. The best defender I've used so far on FIFA 17. He's got 95 defending, 86 physical, very, very strong player. His defensive stats are all extremely high, and with a Shadow Chem Shell, which I definitely recommend using on him, because he does have 70 pace, which although it's not that bad, isn't amazing. So I wouldn't really recommend using maybe the Anchor or the Sentinel Chem Shell. Definitely go with Shadow, because that does boost up his pace to a really good amount. It boosts it to nearly 80, because 70, as I said, it's not bad, it's not amazing though either, so I would recommend using the Shadow Chem Shell to give him really good pace, and that basically just completes his card, because it gives him 99 defending. He's already very, very strong. His passing stat is 83 as well, which is really, really good. He can play some great balls over the top, and generally if you guys like passing with this team, it's perfect, because it's got some players with over 90 passing in the midfield, and the defense is also extremely good for passing too. And yeah, defensively, having a player with 95 defending is just so, so good, because it's almost as if he's got kind of a radius around him, and if anyone gets near him, they just get tackled, because his defending stats are that good. You just need to press B really on Xbox, or whatever the standing tackle button is on PlayStation, and he's going to get the ball off them, because his tackling is that good. Slide tackles are also very, very good, and overall a very, very good player. Next to him, we're going to be going with a gold centre back from the Barclays Premier League, And you guys probably already know who it's going to be, because it's a player that everyone uses in their FUT Champions teams. Even pro players on this game who just have like a huge budget and can get pretty much anyone they want. They all use Chris Smalling because he's so good. 77 pace, 84 defending, 84 physical. He's tall, he's got really good work rates. He's such an overpowered player. If you guys aren't using him, you really are missing out, because he's just so good. And I've played over 100 games with him so far on this game. I know a lot of you will have already used him, and you probably already know he's very good. Now on the right back position, it's really up to you who you go with. You can use Kyle Walker or Bellerin or Klein or something like that if you do prefer. Bellerin, though, is my favourite right back on this game. 95 pace, doesn't really need much more explaining. He's so quick, no one can catch up with him going forwards. And defensively, he's just so quick, he can catch up with pretty much anyone and get the ball off them. And yeah, it's up to you. You can use any Premier League right back. A lot of people do like Walker, and Walker's a player who a lot of people use in FUT Champions. Personally, though, I prefer Bellerin, so you can go with him. You can go with Klein, you can go with Walker, you can go with anyone of your choice. But personally, Bellerin is the best right back in the Premier League. Now moving into the midfield, we're going to be starting off with an inform card right here from Tottenham, and it is going to be Eriksen, his third in form. He's going to have a ridiculous team in the season at the end of this game, but his stats are so good. 80 pace, 87 shooting, 93 passing, 91 dribbling, 75 physical, 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. His free kicks are amazing, scored some really nice free kicks for me in this team. His long shots are second to none. You score so many great goals from outside the penalty area with him. His passing, obviously he's got 93 passing, is very good. Threaded through balls, balls over the top, and just normal through balls. They're all very overpowered with him. Just play it through and your strikers are normally going to get on the ball. And overall, he's a perfect creative midfielder. He's my favourite attacking midfielder on this game. And I've used the likes of Modric, De Bruyne, even Pogba. I prefer him to Pogba just because going forwards he's so good. And I will also recommend using the Maestro Chemistry on him, as it does improve his shooting to over 90 and gives him very high dribbling and passing as well. Now next to him in the centre mid position, this is kind of the more defensive midfielder in the team. It's just a player who everyone uses. If you're not using N'Golo Kante, you really are missing out, just because he's so overpowered. Everyone uses him. I can't really think of any pro players who don't use Kante in their FUT Champions teams, because he's just so good defensively. He's all over the pitch defensively. He's got such high stamina and very high interceptions and tackling that even at the end of games when a lot of players have low fitness, he's still going to have a green stamina bar, because he's just got such high stamina. He keeps on running till the final whistle, and that's very good, because it means he's going to always be having good stamina, which means he's always going to be quick. He's always going to be able to outmuscle and outpace a lot of your opponent's players. And in the midfield, he's just always there where you need him. He makes so many great interceptions and tackles. Just like in real life, one of the best midfielders in the world, in my opinion. Should have been in the team of the year, I think, just because of how good he has been so far for Chelsea and also Leicester last season. Yeah, very good player on FIFA. Definitely would recommend using him in the team. In the middle of the pitch, also set him to aggressive interceptions and stable whilst attacking, and that's going to make him very good when it comes to interceptions. The aggressive interceptions means he just runs all over the pitch, and with his high stamina is not going to get tired towards the end of games, and also stable whilst attacking. He's the more defensive midfielder in the team, so that works best for him. And to complete the midfield, we're going to be going with a Spanish centre mid right here from FC Barcelona. One of the best passers, if not the best passer in the world, is going to be Andres Iniesta, and his card is very good. But originally I was actually quite skeptical on using him, but quickly after the first game I really like using him, because he got 4 assists in the first game. Like, who even does that? That is very good for any midfielder, and for a player who's only going to cost you about 25k. Very surprising. If you do have the coins, you can go and get his Team of the Year card if you want. It's one of the cheap ones, about 500 or 600k. Yeah, for me in this team here, he was very good. Obviously, he got 4 assists on his debut, and just throughout all the games, he was always creating chances. He scored quite a few goals as well, but normally it was him and Eriksen who just created everything for the team. And I think that was probably the best thing about this team. The midfield, you've got Kante as just a perfect defensive player, and then Eriksen and Iniesta just create so many chances for your team. It's very easy to score goals, because you just have a perfect midfield putting a lot of great balls over the top or through to your strikers. And that really was kind of what created so many chances for my team, having Eriksen and Iniesta in the midfield. Great passing, good shooting, scored quite a few nice goals for the team. And a very good dribbling as well, and 4-star skill moves. Very good player on this game. Now moving into the strike force, we're going to be starting off with a very overpowered player who a lot of people do use in FUT Champions. I know Matt HD Gamer says he's the most overpowered player on FIFA 17. I think I agree with him. It is Anthony Martial, and again, he's a player you see in everyone's FUT Champions teams. even people who have the likes of George Best, Hullett, players like that in their teams, they still use the likes of Kante, Smalling, Butland and Martial. So I've tried to put a lot of those overpower players in this team right here that just will really improve your team without having to spend too much. And then I've mixed in some much higher rated, very, very good players like Piqué, Eriksen, and a few players you'll see in the rest of the team. But yeah, Martial, 91 pace, 79 shooting, 70 passing, 87 dribbling, 76 physical, 4-star skill moves. He's just so good. He's quick, very, very hard to get off the ball once he does get going. And he's clinical in the penalty area as well, and one of the most overpowered players on this game. In the right forward position, we're actually going to be going with a legend, and it's actually going to be Freddie Ljungberg. Now, hear me out on this. He is probably the best legend I've used so far on this game, and I've used a lot of legends. He was my favourite player in this team, and I know you're probably thinking, why would I use Ljungberg? Because he's 86 rated. He's one of those legends that no one uses. That's probably because he doesn't have the best skill moves. He's got 3-star skills. That's the only downside to him. And if you actually compare him to the other options as a right forward who's a legend, you need a legend to get the full chemistry in this team here. If you're on Xbox, I do have some alternatives for those of you who are on PlayStation. But you've either got George Best, who's 1.6 million right now, so way too much for this team, or you've got Figo. Now, although Figo is 90 rated, 4 ratings higher, if you compare their stats, they're extremely similar, and Ljungberg is actually better statistically in a lot of areas. He's quicker, they have the same shooting. Figo has slightly better passing and dribbling. They've got the same defending and the same physical, so extremely similar stats. And the main area, I think, is pace and also finishing, because you actually have far higher finishing, despite them having the same shooting with Ljungberg, because Ljungberg actually has 85 finishing compared to the 76 of Figo. So in the penalty area, you really do see a difference. Originally, I did use Figo, but I was disappointed by how good he was, because he cost me 600k and he just wasn't really turning up in games. He was just going missing, really. So I went and picked up Ljungberg for 220k, and he did an even better job than Figo. I mean, Figo was getting a few goals and stuff, but he just wasn't doing what you'd expect for a 600k player. He was good, but he wasn't worth 600,000 coins. Ljungberg, however, he was better than him and cost a lot cheaper, so that's why I decided to use him. And yeah, overall, Ljungberg is very, very good. He scored a lot of goals. He was the second top scorer in the team. I believe Iniesta got the most assists, and then the striker got the most goals. Eriksen obviously did get a lot of assists as well, being one of the main creative players in the team. But yeah, Ljungberg is extremely good, and I actually think he's kind of a hidden gem. Although he is a legend, no one uses him, and he's actually very, very good. His finishing is very good. That's something you see with all legends. I always see, whenever I use people like Littman and Ljungberg, any legend really, you really do see a different level of finishing. They're so much better at finishing than most players on this game. And yeah, his finesse shots outside the area are very good. His long shots are great. His dribbling is great. His passing was good. Dribbling as well. Pace as well is a very, very good right there. 85 pace, felt very quick, especially with the Hunter Kemp style, improving his shooting and pace even more, and scored a lot of nice goals, which you will see in the clips. Now, to complete the team, we're going to be going with a French striker from Ligue 1. Adding a brand new league into the team. It's going to be Alexandre Lacazette. I've not used him up until this point using this team right here, but I've actually seen Fuji, who is a very, very good FIFA player. I'll leave a link down below to his channel if you haven't checked him out. He gets top 100 every single week on his Road to Glory account, and he uses quite a similar kind of team to this. He uses the same formation, and I think he uses Martial, Kante, a different Premier League centre mid. Similar defence right here. Don't think he uses the same kind of left-hand side of the pitch, but he uses George Best and Lacazette and Martial as a strike force. So I thought, obviously, if he's got so many coins and is a very good player, Lacazette's got to be good. So I went and tried him out, and Lacazette, he is so good. 86 pace, 82 shooting, 84 dribbling, 76 physical, 75 passing as well, 4-star skill moves. He's clinical in the penalty area. He's so quick. You guys can use Benzema if you want some more kind of physical, if you like a player who can hold the ball up. He's also very, very good. But for me, Lacazette, there's no competition really with anyone to use other than him, because he's just perfect for my playstyle. I like playing through balls and trying to get in behind the defence and use skills. Having Iniesta and Eriksen suits that perfectly, so I can play those through balls through. And I can't really think of a better player than Lacazette to have in the middle to receive those through balls, because he's so quick. His dribbling felt amazing. He does have 84 dribbling, which is pretty good, but his dribbling felt like 99. He could just dribble so easily in and out of defenders, LTRT dribbling especially. His finishing was very, very clinical outside and inside the penalty area. Finesse shots felt very, very overpowered with him. And overall, he was so good. and was probably the best striker I've used so far on FIFA 17. I've used a lot of players who are very, very expensive, and Lacazette's only going to cost you about 30k, and he was so, so good. So that is the team. If you're on PlayStation, don't worry about not being able to get legends. You can just go and get any Premier League right winger and use them as a right forward. So you can use Mkhitaryan, you can use Willian. If you do have this card right here, who is probably my favourite player on this game. I don't know if he's my favourite. I know there's a lot of players who I really like using. Sterling's up there with being one of my favourites. Let's say that. As you see, 247 games played with him. If you do have him, you can use him. If not, use Willian or Mkhitaryan as the right forward. And then up front, you can use any Premier League striker of your choice. So you can use someone like Lukaku, Aguero, Costa. Depending on your budget, you can go and get that. So maybe if you only have 800k, you could get Lukaku and just save up until you can afford someone like Aguero. But yeah, Lukaku's a great player. You can use even someone like Remy if you're on a slightly lower budget. I mean, if you have like 100k or so, you could probably still build this team just with the normal versions of these cards. And maybe some slightly cheaper options like Mkhitaryan instead of Willian, who's slightly cheaper, and someone like Lukaku up front. Because yeah, this team here, very, very good. And it's got a lot of those overpowered players, as I said, that everyone seems to use in FUT Champions, just because they're that good, as well as a really good mix of just very, very good players like Ljungberg, Eriksen and Piqué. So overall, I would definitely recommend you guys trying this team out. It was absolutely perfect for me in FUT Champions, in Seasons, and it's made me go from being an average player with my normal team to just destroying people. I was winning 4-0, 5-0, scoring so many goals, just having a lot of fun playing FIFA. And it was just such a great team to use. So I will show you guys a lot of clips from the games I have played with the team. Also, just to quickly run over the custom player tactics and instructions that I'd use. Set the fullbacks to stay whilst attacking, Kante to stay whilst attacking as well as also using aggressive interceptions on him. And then for my left and right forwards, get him behind, and for my striker, stay central and get him behind. That's all I did, and it made the team extremely good. And yeah, I said, it's the best team I've used so far on FIFA 17. I definitely recommend you guys going and trying it out. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, enjoy the clips, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.